Before we begin, as Jebediah from Movies Explained 4 would say, before we begin, let me start by saying that I asked ChatGPT to make an image of Tony Khan eating at the Cracker Barrel, and the following is what he came up with. And yes, he's having Coke.
What's up, everybody? Joe White here, and today I'm going to talk about Jake Hager. That's right. A lot of people have been focusing on this Raj, Raja, whatever. Quentin Rampage Jackson's moron's kid. He's a fucking moron. Um, and Quentin Jackson isn't much better. Calling his son up during the whole thing, going, "I heard you're taking licks from men in tights, man. You can't stand for this shit." Yeah, and you're a moron who wrestled in fucking fight shorts. So what difference does it make? Or fucking threw punches in fight shorts. Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, they're all a bunch of idiots. Even the guy, people want to sit there and call it a work. Oh, it's a work. It's a work. It's a work. I don't care. Why is there beer allowed in your locker room in the first place? Everybody's all hopped up in drugs, and it's Southern California or California. So maybe not Southern California. It's fucking California. They're all hopped up on drugs and weed and alcohol and Lord knows what the fuck else back there. You got a guy wandering around backstage in wrestling tights with a vest and a cowboy hat in, looking like Brokeback something. The whole situation is a big giant screw up. Anyway, so while this is going on the last few days, ever since this past weekend, something has kind of slid under the radar, and that's Chris Van Vliet. Mister, I went and got a communications degree so I can interview pro wrestlers. Um, he did an interview with Jake Hager, and Jake Hager pulls no punches when it comes to talking about Tony Khan. I'm going to play a clip for you. Let's go ahead and watch this here.
Well, anyways, I always find a way to say this every day, so I think everyone should too say "fuck Tony Khan." I could tell that he didn't want me there. He offered me like a year and a half. I was like, bro, I just did Stadium Stampede twice. Like, don't act like Stadium Stampede didn't put AEW on the map. I was in the debut episode. I was the big spoiler, and you offered me 18 months after all that. So it was that and the way that he started running the business that it really, like, he wasn't a professional. Like after all the Punk shit that went down, the boys got together and we had a meeting, and this was the boys only, no office. All right. And we're all like Sting's in there, Show, Jericho, Bryan, Mox, they're all standing at the front, kind of like talking us through this shit. And lo and behold, who comes into the room storming in? Daddy's little billionaire. And he's like yelling at us because I think it was Dax and Cash and Wheeler didn't want to come in. They didn't like the storyline, so they refused to come to TV that day. And he was like, listen, I'll put you in a 6-man 6 minutes before the show, and you're going to do it. And we're all just like, all feeling disrespected. And I still to this day wish I would have stood up and said, you know, a lot of things. But like, you just told Sting that you're going to put him in a 6-man in 6 minutes, but then you're going to honor him for his retirement. We became his little playthings. We had to wait outside his office. His storylines were very good at debuting, but he could never carry anything through. And it got to the point where I'm carrying on, but it got to the point where I couldn't tell him anything. He couldn't take criticism. He was fucking up, and we were all just having to deal with it. You know, like we all had blood, sweat, and tears put into that company. We were all there at the beginning. Like we all had our careers behind us that helped build that company. And then we all had to just sit side by side and couldn't do anything because he wanted to run it the way he wanted to run it.
So you chose to resign, but it puts you in a spot where it's like, if you don't resign, what do you do with your career? Mm-hmm. Why did you decide to resign?
Yeah, because I didn't know what I was going to do next. I mean, I will say that AEW paid well. And so like I resigned to like give me more time to figure out what's next. We negotiated the contract a little bit longer, but the writing was on the wall, and I could see that from the way he treated me. Like even like when we were doing, like it was like me and Daddy Magic and Jeff, and we were doing that little threesome we were doing. We had a little stint against Billy Gunn and his boys, the tag team, and we did that like rap off. You know, where we went out and rapped in the ring, which is, I mean, who doesn't want to see white guys rap on television?
So there you have it. There you have it. We got a little bit more insight into what went on during that meeting right after the Punk deal, where you got Tony Khan. You know, they were trying to have a meeting for the boys and police themselves. And you know, no management there, no office. And what happens? Tony Khan gets wind of it, storms in, and instead of acting like a boss, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, well, Tony was acting like a boss here, you know, he was acting like a boss. What do you want? There's a difference between acting like a boss and acting like a complete idiotic, spoiled brat jackass, like daddy's favorite billionaire, just like Jake said. You know, coming in telling people, I'll book you in a 6-man 6 minutes before the show starts and you'll like it. Saying that shit to Sting? Saying that shit to people like Bryan Danielson? Ruh-roh, Ray. You know? That should have been, you know, and Tony Khan is already full of fucking P and V at that point because, and Lord knows, you know, Lord knows what else he might have put up his nose or down his throat before this meeting, before he barges in on this meeting. And you know, coming in there talking to pros like that, when up to that point the kid had never been in never took a bump a day in his life. He's going to talk to his people like that. Who does that sound like? Goddamn, pal. Who does all this sound like? Except it's worse because he doesn't know how to be a boss and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Lowballing somebody like that after what Jake Hager, you know, was correct. We helped put your company on the fucking map. I was on the first episode of your TV show. I was the big surprise at the end. And this is how you treat me? You lowball me? No, no. I'd be gone too, man. Congratulations, Jake, for having a set of, you know, balls and not taking it. By the way, Jake, if you're listening to this, I'd love to come drive a truck for you. I do have a CDL Class A and would love to come to work for you, man. Hit me up. Shoot me an email. Drop me a DM. I would love to come work for Hall and Oates. I love that mess. I love that name. That's a good name. Anyway, now that I'm done kissing a little ass, try to get a job. This just doesn't, you know, it doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know. The man has no creative genius. He's good for, surprising debuts, but he doesn't know where to go from there. He has no creative vision whatsoever. He can't maintain it. It's squirrel style booking. What do I mean by that? It's like a dog. He's looking at you, looking at you, looking at you. All of a sudden, squirrel. He sees, you know, squirrel at the corner of his eye, and he goes to chase the squirrel. And then he gets tired for a little bit of the squirrel, so he leaves the squirrel alone. And then he's looking, look at squirrel again. It's squirrel style booking. Tony Khan is a crackhead squirrel, cokehead squirrel, whatever. He's a dumbass. Their ratings drop has shown that. Go look at Jack Swagger's debut. Go look at the full arenas. Go look at the television rating. They haven't cracked 1 million viewers in over 2 years. That pay-per-view in London, that Forbidden Door, that was dog shit. Yeah, the matches were okay, but the storyline wise, it is dog shit. MJF losing his damn shot at the title. He should have won the title. That title should not be on Hangnail Page, as Jim Cornette would call him. Mr. Butterfly Pants himself. No, absolutely not. You know, the whole Punk situation just further exposed what I have been saying since the beginning. This is run by a Nepo baby who uses his daddy's money and buys all the cocaine he can to keep it going, keep himself going. He's a coke head loser. He is a loser, this guy. He's the guy who got beat up in high school every week. I guarantee you. He's the nerdy little kid who all the football players probably picked on in high school. If he even went to high school, he probably went to some private school in England, because that's where most Indian people do their schooling, is over there. And, you know, so he wouldn't have to put up with that shit. And then he's in the ECW arena trying to stroke Taz's ego, like Taz needs his ego stroked. Sitting there, and why does he have to do this? This is Tony Khan. This is how Tony Khan talks when he speaks in front of a crowd. I was here when I was 13 years old. My daddy brought me in a limousine to ECW, and I was one wearing a Taz t-shirt. And he comes out there and gives a stupid little hug to Taz. And Taz is sitting there awkwardly hugging him like, motherfucker, get off me. Get the fuck away from me. I mean, come on. When will everybody see this? What does it take for these neckbeards and slag, you know, these neckbeards and these women who just look like they came from the backside of the trailer park, if you know what I mean? What will it take for these people to wise up and realize this man, he's, good, go ahead and collect your paycheck, work your contract out, and then go. Because he's at the point now where he realizes daddy's money is only going to come in for so much longer before the Nepo baby gets cut off. And then he's going to have to worry about cutting further costs. You've seen that with the way they're running things. Sorry, I had to honk my horn. Guys, pay attention to green lights. Anyway, so you can see that by the way he's running things. The tapings that they did in Chicago by going to an arena that looks like Casa Bonita from South Park. Now they're in the 2300 arena that looks small as fuck and cheap and amateur. Oh, this is the company that's going to be hanging with Vince, and they're the most profitable company second most profitable company in history. Oh, but I don't know why their owner's saying he hopes to be profitable, Uncle Dave. It's a shit show. The whole thing is a shit show. And the sooner people realize that, the better off they'll be. Just stop watching. Stop paying attention. I don't care that everybody's going to lose their job. That only makes the indies stronger again. Okay? I liked it better when the Young Bucks stayed in fucking Japan and stayed on the fucking little rinky-dink indies that I never went to. I liked it better when they did not have a national stage. And guess what? That failed too. Oh, we're going to show everybody what we're really about, and everybody's going to love it. Yeah, no, they don't. Fizzled out real quickly. It fizzled out real quickly. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Is Jack Swagger right? He's the one, he strikes me as one of the few where Tony fucked up upon release going, oh my God. Oh my God. Megan, oh fuck, she don't work here for me no more. Give me another attorney. He didn't sign. What do you mean he didn't sign an NDA? What do you mean?